Is that working? How's it going, guys? Welcome to the stream. Give me a hello if you can hear me. I just went through some computer pains, so I don't know if anything's working and if I'm just by myself. My music is off, that's for sure. Let me put that on. Give me a hello if you guys are in chat, just so I know that I'm not talking to myself and you can hear me and everything is good in the world. Who do we got? Let's see here. I hope everyone's having a good. Hey Hakon, how's it going, man? Can you hear me? I just reformatted my computer this morning, so I've been like having to reset up everything, and I dumbly didn't save any of my OBS stuff. Hey guys, you guys hear me? I hope you can hear me. Give me Jim, I can hear you in chat if you can hear me. There we go. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Max. How's it going? Sorry, yeah, as I was mentioning, as you guys have all been knowing, I've been having like a trillion computer troubles. This morning I turned on my computer. So if you want to notice all the other like difficulties I've basically had over the last little while, check out my video from yesterday. I kind of go through like the trials and tribulations of my computer stuff, but this morning I had another scare, and like I feel like these computer issues are never gonna end. Basically, I turned on my computer and I started using it, and then the whole thing like locked up, right? So let's fix this a little bit. So I was like, you know what? I just put in a new video card. I've had this computer built for 2 years. I've never really done another clean install. So I decided to do a like a here we go. Let's see it better. All right, there we go. I decided to do a clean install this morning, which of course is never a great idea. Like the day you're going to stream, you know, something usually you should say for days that you're going to be taking off. But decided to do a clean install this morning. Well, at first I was like, let's upgrade to Windows 11. This would be a good opportunity to upgrade to Windows 11. That was a bad idea because I spent an hour trying to get it to install in my system, which it would not. Apparently there's some issues with, like, I have all the proper hardware, like the TPM and all this weird stuff, but there's some issues with the installer. And then kind of after about 45 minutes of like messing around with it, I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna just use Windows 10. There's too much unproven stuff. So decided to stick with Windows 10. Did a full clear format, install everything, and then obviously I had nothing on my computer. So all this morning, I've been basically reinstalling programs, getting everything set up. Hopefully everything is working for the stream because, as I said, it was kind of a last minute decision to do it. And obviously stream days are not ideal for computer formats. But after it locked up this morning, I just had this like weird panic that like maybe there's like some deeper software and device driver issues that were like causing some of the problems. So rather than risk it and just kind of continue going through these issues, I decided to just do a clean format, new video card, everything like that, reinstall all the drivers, everything like that. So we are back. All right, so hope everyone else is having a good day. Cam, Hackon, Max Lurker, thanks for joining. PKS42, thanks for joining. Also, because of that, I like was in a panic to kind of get everything set up today, and so I'm hoping I managed to get everything set up correctly, but obviously I had to set up OBS from scratch. I actually went through and I actually deleted almost all my files too. Like I wanted a really clean install, so even my storage drive I did like a full clean out of. All right, so today we are going to be working on this little babe here, Sylvanas Windrunner from World of Warcraft. That's what we're going to be working on. So this is a 3D printed resin model. I'm doing this for a commission. And it's going to be a fun model to paint because I've never painted something like this. I think it's 75mm scale. Well, I'll show you like, so here's Gazgul, my Warhammer fans. That's how big she is compared to Gazgul, if you're wondering, like scale basically. So she's about twice as tall as Gazgul. So I just figured it'd be a nice little project. I'm sure you guys are sick of seeing me paint Rubric Marines anyways. And this will be a nice project. The goal with this model is basically to color match it exactly to the animated like drawings. So I'm gonna pull up some drawings for reference really quick. Let me see here. Sorry. So this is getting my OBS. Go. Let's see here. Where is that window? Okay, so how do you spell Sylvanas Windrunner? Your first question. Sylvanas Windrunner. Let's see, I want images. Images? I guess I should go into the Google search. So, one sec. All right, here we go. Hey Max, how's it going? Okay, so images. So what I'm gonna be doing with this guy, I'm gonna be basically matching, I think, this scheme. So this scheme here. Do this. So it's kind of red armor with pinker skin, I think. Basically the most, I think that's the most like recent. Not a great picture. So something like this. Not a great picture either. What else? So it's kind of like a red armor, I guess, burgundy armor. Yeah, she's kind of, I think I'm supposed to, I think the client wants it in the BFA version. So I do know some of the storyline. Let's go to the WoW PD here because I don't know much about Sylvanas, old girl. So she's, what is she? She's kind of all sorts of things. So she's a Banshee Queen, Queen of the Forsaken. She's also a Blood Elf, or an Undead Elf, or a Night Elf. What kind of elf is she? Does anyone know? Does anyone actually play WoW? Let's see. I wish I had that armor. That's cool. Does she die in Okay, so yeah, so that's what we're gonna be doing today. So I'm gonna keep this reference image up on my side screen here so I can kind of refer back to it. But you guys are gonna get the gist. So it's gonna be red armor, kind of bluish skin, and then the actual like trim is gonna be like more gold or silver, kind of like a burnished, I guess, burnished silver. And I'm gonna go with like a slightly pinkish gray skin, basically. That's like the theme. All right. Was a high? Oh, a high elf. See, I don't even know. I don't know why, but I thought in WoW for some reason, I'm dumb, that there's only like really dark elves or night elves and night elves and night elves and the blood elves. So I don't know much about WoW. I know like more about Warcraft basically. So just let me add increase the gate on my airbrush. Test. Odd. Want noise suppression. Sure. Okay, let's see. That's not too bad. Okay, all right. What are you guys working on? Let me know in chat. If you guys are working on anything at all, or if you're just hanging out. Today I'm probably going to stream about 2 hours. I have to be somewhere at 5:15, so 2 hours. All right, so how do I want to start this check? Well, I think I'm going to go... I think one of the things I want to do is start with like a pretty mellow, like pretty purplish undertone, and then work my way up to like more of that blonde color. But so I want to give her that kind of purplish undertone. So I think I'm going to start with faded plum all over, especially because this will also serve as like an okay base coat for the red. So let's do that. Going with some faded plum. Also, I figured out, for those of you on the stream yesterday, I figured out why my stream was not broadcasting at 1080p. So now, if you guys are on Twitch and or on YouTube, you can set the stream to 1080p 60 frames, which makes it look a lot better. So I would recommend doing that if you guys want like the highest quality picture quality. What I realized is that those services, so yesterday when I was streaming, it was only streaming out at 720, but it kind of looked grainy. And there's like weird like downscaling and stuff. But I fixed all that. So hopefully the stream is as crisp as ever on YouTube and Twitch. And basically the problem was that my output bitrate was too low. So you set like the bitrate, so it was at like 4,000, which is what I usually set it at. But apparently for 60 frames 1080p, you need to set it at 6,000. But only because I switched encoders. So before, when I had my old video card, it used to encode the videos with software, and the software encoding actually needed a lower could at a lower bitrate do the 1080p. But for NVEC encoding, which is the hardware encoding that's on my new card, you need to have a much higher bitrate because I guess it outputs at a higher bitrate. So now it should be at 1080p, which is fantastic. Hopefully you guys get a nice detailed look of like what's going on here. All right, let's get into it. So here we go. It's got an Abaddon for my Zinch army. Nice, dude. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the base loss. I'm a little worried. I've never used this resin. I'm a little worried about like it rubbing off, so I should maybe make a little thing for it. So back here. I'm gonna make a little holder for this model. Just like that. So these cork things I actually got from like a random online cork store. I couldn't find anything like these locally, but I wanted some cork for larger models, so I got these from like a random online it was like House of Cork or something ridiculous like that. And then I had tape. Where did that double-sided tape go? Went out and I just bought 2 new rolls. Sure. Double-sided tape. I'm going to take double-sided tape. That. Oh, whoa. Oh no, never mind. I'm sorry, I'm imagining things. Also guys, I have a new goal. I haven't really been doing much like pushing on growth for the channel, but I'm really trying to get to 600 Twitch followers by the end of the year. So I'm at 564. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, please make sure to follow the channel. Or if you guys are watching this at a later time, please make sure to follow the channel on Twitch. I'm going to come back to YouTube, but I just figured one thing at a time, right? The goal right now is 600 followers by the end of the year. So that's about 1 follower a day. Not too crazy. All right, there we go. So now I got a nice little base. A holder? Make my painting life a lot easier. I think it's pretty sturdy. All right, so we're gonna start with our faded plum. All right, while I'm doing this, let's talk life. What else is going on? So I think most of you guys know I'm not going to LVO this year. So hopefully for those of you that do go, have a good time. But I decided not to go to LVO this year. Let me know if you guys are going. I did see the preview leak for the new 40K. There's like a leak out there for some of the new secondary stuff. So those look really interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how those affect the meta, because I do think the missions in the chapter approved. So it sounds like it's coming pretty soon. Pretty big deal, I guess, for a lot of people. But we'll see how that goes. I wonder if you guys, let me know if you in chat if you guys have had a chance to take a look at that stuff. All right, there we go. Faded plum. Hope it's not too harsh on the mic. I think it's too thick. A little bit more. Yeah, I just think I actually think they should get rid of all the primaries that are like hold 1 for 4 or whatever. I think they should all be hold 2, because I think it pushes. I think there should be more objectives overall, and then there should always be they should all be hold 2 basically. So with this, because I'm doing hold on. This. Yeah, so with this, guys, because I'm doing the red armor, I'm gonna basically go pretty heavy on the base coat across the whole thing, even if it's not. It's gonna turn into red armor later. The only thing, let me just check the cloak actually. Cloak is. Where's the cloak? Where are you, my girl? Did I close it? Cloak red too? Her cloak is red too, so I'm gonna go pretty red on everything. I think I'm gonna do the flames in like blue or green, something that kind of offset all the red. But I'll figure that out kind of at the end. It's kind of cute for an undead elf. I'd be down. What do you guys think? Would you guys be down with Sylvanas? Despite her evil misgivings? I'd probably join her cause. weird stuff there. You think her smell is unbearable? I don't know. I feel like she probably takes pretty good care of herself. Sorry, there's just some like little bits of like I don't know if it's resin or something else, but anyways, yeah, so sorry guys, I'm just a bit quiet, just trying to focus on this, but a lot going on. I'm planning to bring back some of the shows in the new year, so hang tight with the channel, guys. I do appreciate everyone that's kind of stuck around while I've been kind of doing my own thing the last little while. We will be back with some of the various shows. I am enjoying just kind of the hobby streams, though. Let me know if you guys enjoy them. What kind of topics, like if you guys want to send in topics or questions and stuff. Obviously, make sure to join the Discord if you can. But yeah, I don't know. I've just been kind of focusing on hobby and stuff the last little while. Yeah, the stream quality definitely looks better, I feel, personally, but I guess as a painter, like I'm a sucker for stream quality. Like that's like it's one of the important things to me. So the reason I'm kind of painting this now is actually I'm doing this for a the client wants hopefully get this done by Christmas and back to them. So I'm gonna try to do this at like a very fast pace, but also like very high quality as well. So just doing really thin layers, just trying to get everywhere inside. All right, I think that's good. All right, there we go. Kind of cute, huh? For an undead. All right, so get the airbrush, a little bit of a wash. So I'm gonna basically, so even though I just did base coated this with the airbrush, this is probably gonna be a 90% brush model. I will probably go in next with a slightly lighter like skin color, essentially, for like start highlighting the skin. I wanted to get a nice kind of like deep purple color down just to help with like the tone, I guess. But I'm gonna go in with a slightly more transparent skin color next to help kind of accentuate the colors, I guess. Yeah, the mission specific things I'm interested to see, PK. I think ultimately though, like I hope it's I hope they're well thought out. I don't know, man. I don't know if you guys have seen the new Jinso rules and the new Custodes rules. The game is just getting so complicated. Like I had to read the Custodes rules like 3 times just to understand like what the hell they're like for them to explain like how they work. And I'm just finding like it's getting so complicated. The rules, you know? Like there's so many layers and then everything is so it's not just that there's lots of rules, but like the rules themselves are complicated. A lot of them are getting like really wordy, right? They're not super like intuitive or clear exactly how they work. I don't know if you guys agree, if you guys had a chance to check out the new Custodes rules, but that's kind of the I don't know, the kind of the sense I got from reading them. Yeah, AdMech was kind of the beginning of the end, I feel, you know? Drukari's it's like pretty simple. It's like once it's kind of activated, it's activated, but for the rest, it feels like quite like it's just so complex. All right, so next what I want to do is I think I'm gonna go in with some hopefully my hat doesn't hit the, it's always a pain. I want more of a grayish color for like the direction I'm going. So I think I'm gonna go with this bright warm gray for Proacryl, and then mix that with my. She's like in some of the pictures, it's hard to tell because in some of the pictures, she's more pink, and in some of the pictures, she's more blue. You know? Oh no, that's when she's alive. Oh, she turns undead later. Is that right? If I understand correctly? Confused. So she originally starts out not undead? Is that right? I probably read the wiki. And then she later becomes undead. But she's definitely more pink than I thought in like the pictures. But in some of the pictures she's like blue. Bluish, like very blue. But in some of the pictures, she's also very, very, like, pale, you know? Okay, you know what? I'm not going to go to that color. I'm going to go with... I think it's too cold. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I think it's too cold. I'm going to go in with this color instead, pale pink. I think I'm going to go edge towards that color. Yeah, that's what I thought, too. Because, like, there's a few photos here where she's, like, literally got... She looks like totally healthy and alive. She's, like, blonde hair, basically. Let's see here. Get in there. Oh, shit. Maybe I do a mix of like a few different colors. Oh shit, that's too much now. Maybe I add a bit of that bright warm gray just to give it a bit of like thickliness. You know? Look at that. I like that actually. Have any of you guys been playing World of Warcraft, the new Shadowlands? I almost picked it up, which is weird because like I haven't played any of the World of Warcrafts since like I think I played a little bit of Burning Crusade and a little bit of it like when it came out, but I don't know, because like apparently they like reset everything. They did like a stat squish, so it was like a lot easier for like new players to get in. Is that just all bullshit, or is it still just as like fucked up to play? I know Blizzard's like basically in a PR disaster right now. Let's try this. Yeah, you did? Or most people did? What was bad about it? Back on? I mean, like it's kind of like the last of like a, I guess, an era, right? Like they just don't MMOs just don't, like, people don't have time for MMOs these days, you know? It actually doesn't have a lot of skin on this model. Mostly gloves. And armor. Yeah, is that just because like Asmongold started playing FF14? Is there any like actual reason? Like, is FF14 actually good? Or like what's going on with FF14? Because I've never played it. Give me the lowdown. Yeah. Yeah, I just like that's the whole thing, right? Like, look, when I used to play, so I used to be a big EverQuest 2 player, and that was like that came out right around the time WoW came out. And when I played, I was like very hardcore, right? Like I rated hardcore. I did I used to be in like one of the like top guilds of like the not just the server but like the world. Like we had like a bunch of world firsts. I think we used to have like a call list because like if any of the contested world bosses spawned, like you had to get up to you had to get up. Like there was no option to like these gloves. I can't tell. Gotta be gloves, right? Oh wait, those are like just the hands. I don't know why I'm painting them. Okay, so there's I made like way too much paint. I'm gonna pour most of it out. So we used to have to like get up and stuff in the middle of the night if like the world first. Yeah, dude. Came up and yeah, I just don't have time for that shit anymore, you know? I'm like I enjoyed EverQuest 2 when it was like for 3 expansions, and then I don't know. You just lose your will, I guess, to play those games after a while. And I tried a lot of MMOs after that. Like I tried fuck man, Vanguard, Warhammer Online actually I really liked, except it just got so buggy in the end game was just like so buggy. What else was good? Rift. Rift I played. What was that one Asian game, Aeon or whatever, where you could fly around with the wings? It's called like Aeon or something. I played that. What was the what was the one where Brad McQuaid made? The Vanguard? Yeah, Vanguard. I tried like I don't know. I tried them all, man. I think most people were like that, right? Like after the initial like disappointment with like WoW, you kind of wander aimlessly between like MMOs and shit, and then next thing you know, it's like you've played 3 years of MMOs, but it's been like 7 different games, and they all are just brutal. Like they're all just the same. I even tried what was that one? I never tried into the Star Wars ones. That was one thing I didn't try. So that was probably maybe like the one I should have tried, but oh yeah, fuck man. Honestly, the problem with the time log progression is it's like you think it's gonna be like nostalgic, and because they had EverQuest 2 ones too that I almost thought about getting into, but nothing's the same, like, right? It's never the same. And honestly, you're such a power gamer by that point. Like, you know how to, like, you know all the, like, cheat codes. So there's no, like, the challenge is, like, completely different, you know? And the skin is so bright. Hard to tell. Let me just see if I can turn down the exposure a bit on the camera. You guys get a better look. Cause, like, right. Oh, it's a little bit better. It's not, like, overexposed now. It's still quite pink, I guess, or purple. I want it to be a little bit more pink. So I think what I'm going to do, and this could be a mistake, is I'm going to go do some, like, really high highlights, extreme highlights here. And then I think I'm going to go in with like a glaze of some kind. And glaze it down with a little bit more pink in there. Pink tones. Like, but you know what the thing is though? Like, part of me, having not played MMOs for so long, part of me kind of like, I itch for like, it would be cool if like a good MMO that was actually like fucking not a buggy piece of shit came out that I could like, and that wasn't like a huge grind. I don't know if that game exists. I'm kind of, after watching Arcane, I'm kind of actually like really interested to see how this like League of Legends MMO turns out now. I know that's like 1,000 years away, but because I like Arcane so much, it gave me like it kind of made me interested in the world of League of Legends more than the actual game League of Legends. I know the game is like cancerous, but so I'll be interested to see like how that turns out. Okay, I feel like I'm looking at the pictures of Sylvanas. I feel like there's still a little bit more red tones in there. So I think what I'm gonna do, and this could be a huge mistake, so you guys can be here to witness my huge mistake, is I think I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a glaze and basically glaze in a little bit of almost like pink, give it a bit more red tone. So now I just got to figure out what I'm gonna use for that. Like, I played Diablo 2 Resurrected for a while, and now like as I was playing it, like Hakon, like perfect example. So I started playing Diablo 2 Resurrected like recently, and I was like super hyped. I rolled a Necromancer, which was like my first class that I ever played in Diablo 2 when it came out. So I was like, fuck, sweet, this is like nostalgic, awesome. Basically solo self-found because I didn't want to use D2GSP, anything like that. Got him up to like level like 85-ish, right? Got through hell, like took a while, didn't really do any trades. And then I got to this point where I was like, okay, hadn't really found any high runes, and like the Necromancer is fun, but obviously annoying to fucking magic find with. And if you want to do anything in D2, you need like good magic find. So then I rolled a sorcerer, and at that point I was like, didn't really know anyone playing, so I was like, okay, get some, like, I got a rush through DGSP. Like, that's how like you can, that's like actually a really easy way to find games, because like people post games and stuff, so you can join. And then got the sorcerer to like level 90, did like tons of magic find, and like as I was like magic finding, I just kept thinking like, what am I doing this for, right? Like I'm solo playing by myself, just doing endless magic find runs, so that I can get like is it Twitch is a little bit weird. And I'm playing this thing, and it's like, yeah, it was just like super annoying. It was super annoying, basically. because like I basically didn't I didn't feel like I just stopped playing at this point. Like I was obsessed with D2R for like 3-4 weeks, right? Like I couldn't I'd get up in the early in the morning and I'd play in the morning, right? I'd do like, 30 runs, whatever. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, why am I even bothering, right? Like it's like I'm not gonna get anything, and like I don't know. It just feels like such a waste of my time, I guess. And I just I don't care anymore. I've like completely given up caring about the game, and I haven't played in like 3 weeks. And after my format, I don't even know if I can reinstall it. It's just so hard to get into. Like, yeah, at least MMOs do have a community, like you join a guild, that kind of stuff. And I just feel like there's a lot more to do, right? Like Diablo 2, it's such a simple game. Like you level the character and then you're just doing these like endless runs. At least like there's crafting and like, I don't know, raiding and all sorts of other shit. Like you kind of have to do those things as a group. Whereas with like Diablo 2, it's like kind of designed just to play by yourself, essentially. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Could be a disaster, but we're gonna go for it. I'm gonna make a very, very thin down. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a super thin down magenta wash. I'm gonna put a little bit of my thinner, and then a little magenta, where it explodes into the paintbrush thing. So like just literally the smallest amount. Looks like a turd. Hey everyone joining us on Twitch. We got 10 viewers. Say hello in the chat if you guys are watching. And then I want to go super, 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 super light with this. Like I almost want it slightly more thin down than this, which seems crazy because it's like so thin. But I basically don't want there to be like any. I just want to kind of add a bit of a pink. So again, this could be disaster, but how it goes. Almost like a transparent. Fuck. It didn't quite work out the way I wanted. It's definitely pinker. Hard to see probably on the camera. But it's like too dark pink. So I think what I need to do is I'm going to add to this some white. And see if I can kind of take it up. Yeah, did you try New World? How long did you play it? Like, did you get like quite into it? Because I almost thought about picking it up. I just heard it was very buggy. You know? So I'm just focusing here. I'm gonna get. There we go. I didn't really understand like what New World is. Like what is it, like literally what it sounds like you're in the New World? Like what is the like setting? Is it Vikings or like the new colonial New World? Like what is it fantasy? Is there like magic and stuff, or is it like Okay. So like basically, okay. So it's kind of like a low fantasy setting, right? I guess that's what they call it. Yeah, I don't even really like that setting. Oh yeah, I played Conan. I forgot to mention I played Conan. That was actually fun. To a point. I feel like as I've gotten older though, like single player RPGs and like single player games is like where I'm at, you know? I just don't have the time to invest in like these like I don't have time to invest in it still looks very purple, you know? I don't mind it being purple. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go in with my brush a little bit. So I'm gonna take this color, put it on my palette a little bit. Love it. I'm gonna just paint some on. It's still kind of light now that I like that's kind of pinkish, right? But like the whole thing is still quite purple. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, does it look pinkish? Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. Like this looks pinkish, the paint does, but if you look at like the actual skin, it's still quite purple. But you know what? I'm not Picasso here. I'm not trying to do an exact color match. I think everything looks really purple just because how purple every like the armor and stuff is. So what I'm gonna do here, and this is kind of a tip I would give to everyone, is like whenever you're doing a project and like tone is really important or like overall look, like you don't have to finish, I don't have to finish the skin here perfectly and then like move on to the next thing. I can kind of get the skin to like 80-90% of where I think I want it and then go and kind of do the other rest of the model, get the armor red for instance because I know the armor is going to be kind of that burgundy color, and then take another look at like the overall color I guess balance to make sure that it's not overtly pink or overtly purple or whatever, and then fix it at that kind of later stage. I think a lot of people when they paint, they think that like, oh, okay, so I've done, you know, I got to do the skin and then I got to finish the skin and the skin has to be perfect and I can't move on. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do some of the brushwork on the skin right now. Just to see kind of how far how much different it is when it comes off the brush, the pink, I guess. Also some like random like rough spots. It's almost like I should have washed the model. Like there's like little bits of like particulate in some spots and it's like kind of causing some roughness. That makes sense. How that dries. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of go in the face a little bit. The weird thing about night elves is that they have these goddamn eyelashes, right? Kind of like blonde. So anyways, back to like the MMO discussion. Yeah, like, I don't know, part of me always craves like Like, I just, you know what would be nice? If I could play like an MMO where like I could just like log on and like raid, like do some fun raids, but I didn't have to grind to like do that part. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a game like that where it's like, imagine just the raids? You almost like use like pre-built characters. I know that sounds kind of lame, but like, that's kind of what I want. It's kind of like, that's the age I'm at as far as like what I can bear patience for. So I think I will, what I will do is I'll go back and I will reglaze the skin at some point. Okay, so what I want to do is add a little bit of white. I want to actually use white here because yeah, and I mean that's, I think I used to be like that for a long time, you know? Like you'd play just for your guild and your friends and stuff. Noble cause, my friend. I do like her eye makeup. I'm definitely gonna do her eye makeup where it's kind of like the streaks coming down. For sure, that's getting done. Really like that, like kind of like grungy, you know, and crying, but she's just a sad girl look. And then what I will do as well is I'm gonna go in with, I think what I want to do for the armor, because I want the burgundy to be really, actually I'm gonna go maybe even base coat that now. Start base coating that. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree, Speezy. Like, I just like, and maybe I'm getting too old for this, right? Like maybe we're all too old for MMOs. Like we've like, you know, we were 16 once and or in college, and those were the days, and now we're all like old adult professionals, and so like we all wax nostalgic. But it just feels like such a shame to me that like there's no way to like ever get that back, that like amazing feeling of like playing those games, you know? Like it can't be the case that that's gone forever. Like that, I refuse to believe that. There's got to be like some way to get back to that. I have this fantasy games Crimson, guys. I'm gonna give it a good vibro. Let's do a little test. But I have to say so I love scale 75 paints. I'd say for metallics, they're my favorite brand of paints, but they're like fantasy games range. They're like a bunch of random paints under this range called fantasy games are not very good. Like they're very, very thin and the coverage is really poor. But this red is actually feels like a really, really good red for the armor. I'm going to give it another go here. I do have a few other similar colors, but if this one doesn't work out, but I just find like the paints were really thin. Yeah, I need like the like what was that movie or that book? What the fuck's that movie? Ready Player One, sorry. So I read the book and I watched the movie. The movie was like not as good. Yeah, Ready Player One. So Ready Player One, I need that. That's what I need. Like the whole like haptic suit and like I think that's like the next MMO that I'll ever play is like full VR like haptic immersion. The book was actually real. I actually really enjoyed the book. The movie I thought was okay, but nothing crazy, you know, nothing special. Oh yeah, look at that, nice like bloody color. So I'm just gonna do a small test on the armor here because I want to see how well this color. I probably won't use this paint. I just find these paints are very they're very they don't cover very well. Like look at it already. like a little bit of water. It's so thin. It's almost like a ink, but I don't know, maybe that'll work to my advantage. Yeah, look how thin that is, guys. That's like barely... That's one coat. That's horrendous. But you know what? Let's just go with it. What I can always do is I can always come back with a wash, reinforce thread, and I'll keep it nice and thin and work around. Okay, we're gonna YOLO, guys. Yeah, it's called Bloodfest Crimson. It's part of their like skin range. And even though I just like vortex mixtured it, and it's like it's quite thick. Like if you look at it here, it's quite thick, right? But like I just added a touch of water, and it just turns into like soup. But you know what? We're gonna do it live here on the channel, and we'll figure it out. Thankfully, like the skin is actually quite distinct from the rest of the body. So my plan with this, as far as like steps, I'm gonna do the red armor base coat here. Now that I've kind of blocked out the skin. Again, the skin's not done, but it's done enough, and I've done most of the airbrushing at this point. But yeah, you can see how thin that is, guys. It's like pretty brutal. And then I'm gonna block out all the red armor here. So, and I'll probably then do the trim of the red armor. So I'll do like the silver. And then I'm gonna go in with like, I think like a brown / red / like rusty dark colored wash, I think, on all the armor. That'll both work on the red and the metal. I can kind of kill two birds with one stone as far as yeah, this is 3D printed, man. Yeah, dude, the quality on 3D printing has gotten absolutely incredible. You can get basically 4K, like the resin printers, the resin 3D printers. So there's basically two types of 3D printers. There's PLA, which use like, they basically use like plastic goop. And then they basically actually literally print the layer. But the newer ones are like these resin ones. And they basically use an LCD screen and ultraviolet light to cure layers of resin. And so they you'll have to Google it because I'm not very good at explaining it, but basically it's almost like the resin that they put in your tooth when you get a or ultraviolet glue. So the light is basically in the shape of essentially the layer, and it like cures the resin like one layer at a time, if that makes sense. And it's kind of weird. It like builds it backwards. So definitely check it out. It's kind of gotten crazy, technology. The problem though with 3D printing isn't so much like the tech. It's just like it's so messy, and there's just such a steep learning curve. Like it's not like, and the machines are like super temperamental, right? Like there's so many things that can go wrong with them so easily. They just like, you literally like look at them wrong, and like the whole machine just like basically like stops working properly, and like your prints fail, and like you just and they're slow as fuck, right? Like a print like this might take like a day or something, or 2 days to print. You're getting like one model like a day. It's pretty brutal. Yeah, I think it really depends on the printer, and then like obviously your print settings as well. Like I think there's like a huge difference in like print settings and quality and stuff. So I'm not an expert. There's definitely people that like, it's not something that I'm like too interested in, just because I prefer plastics. So like Games Workshop plastics is like my preferred I guess models to get. Like the multi-part plastics, and I just like the the resin. Like, I'd just rather just buy them. It's just not something that like I really want to spend a ton of my time on figuring out to do myself. But you know, all the power to the people that are doing it. Oh, I just found. But yeah, there's like a lot of Kickstarters and stuff. I think that's usually the best way, but it's, I don't know, the whole thing seems kind of like, annoying. Once you get set up, like by the time you kind of do it all, you need like a well ventilated spot to do it. Like you can't just do it on your desk, especially if you're curing resin and stuff. And then you need like a UV cure, and then you need to wash it. Like there's just so much that goes into it. Like one model, right? I like it like a lot for 3D printed parts, but like if I want to get like bits and stuff, like a sword or whatever. But for whole models, I don't know. I'm not a fan, to be honest. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like for as long as I've been in the hobby, people have been complaining about Games Workshop prices. And like it's never changed, and it's only ever gonna go up, right? Like it's just kind of, I don't know. It feels like maybe just because I'm older now from when I started and like I have money now, but like it's honestly not, it doesn't feel that much more expensive. It doesn't feel that much more expensive, even though obviously I know objectively it is. Because yeah, I don't know. Maybe I make like more money than I used to. Probably why. But I don't know, like I remember buying like two like when I started in the hobby, like my first regiment I think was like a box of Chaos Warriors. It was like the 12 box, like the old Hunchback Chaos Warriors from Warhammer Fantasy, and it was like $32 or something for 12. Or you could get like 2 metal Chaos Marauders and a blister pack for $8. Like that was like the price, you know? I'm not rich, man. I just like, I don't know. I guess it just feels like, I don't know, like it's about where I spend my money, I guess. Like I'll go out on a weekend and I'll easily spend $300-400 drinking, restaurants, food, other things, right? Like, and then I go and I spend $150 in Warhammer. It doesn't seem like that much, right? I mean, yeah, I live in a studio apartment. If you're wondering how rich I am, so not exactly swimming in you know, my Bel Air mansion here. I just feel really weird painting like you know, like butts and cooches and stuff. Like should I be like turned on by it? Should I be thinking about it? What's the like proper headspace when you're painting like butts of models? I just pretend it's a piece of plastic. Yeah, I know you guys think about it. Don't pretend you don't. I've seen what some of you guys look like on the internet. Look at on the internet and not look like. There's always like something about it where I'm like, should I be turned on here? I'm not turned on, obviously. It's just a piece of plastic, but like, I don't know. There's such a weird aesthetic with these models, right? You're like, I'm literally painting inside her butt crack right now, and it's like, cool. No. Hot tub painting stream? Oh yeah, extra special highlights. Yeah, I definitely do. Oh yeah, it's this ain't no screenshots. But the fappening basically on my channel. Come for the painting tips, stay for the fappening. I think what I'm gonna do, like, I'm gonna do the cloak in red, but I want it to slightly a different tone of red. So I'm not gonna paint it right now. What color is her hair? It looks blonde, right? Yeah, she's got blonde hair. Kind of like a dirty, like a pale blonde. That's good. And then what I want to do is for the cloak. I know it looks like messy, like I forgot, but literally, guys, all I was doing really is base coating the armor parts. I didn't go all the way in some spots to the edge because there's trim, and those are going to be a whole separate color. That's going to be probably one of the more painful parts of this model, is painting all that trim. Just like painting chaos models, so I'm very used to it. But there's a reason I didn't go kind of all full bore with the red. It looks like splotchy, or like I kind of like just paint some of it. But I think what I want to do for the cloak, I want to do a slightly different shade of red, because obviously it's a different material, so it's gonna have different kind of I guess tone. I have this orc blood. Again, this is one of the nice things about projects that aren't mine. Like, I have all these paints that I've like literally never used. I don't even think this is open. It's like brand new. I have all these paints I've never used that I'm like, what's a good project for them? So here we go. This will be a good project for this orc blood. Let me give it the old vortex 1-2. And I just find it, yeah, it's nice. Like, if I have a one-off project, it's nice to like burn through some of this like paint stockpile that I have, because I have literally like 100, 200 colors, and some of them are like brand new, never used, and I never have purpose to use them, because a lot of times the color palettes for my projects are already established, right? Isn't orc blood green? Is it established canon anywhere what color orc blood is? What is it in Warhammer? Does anyone know? Like in 40k, is it green, or is it? Why do I think it's green? Maybe I'm thinking Vulcans from or Klingons from Undiscovered Country. Wasn't their blood like bright pink or something weird like that? Remember those like weird blood bubbles that float around in the opening scene in Undiscovered Country? What color were those? I swear they're like bubblegum pink or something. Remember that part, and that when they're assassinating the Klingons in like the no gravity. Undiscovered Country, I still say, is like one of the best Star Trek movies ever. Yeah, it's like pretty dark for Undiscovered Country. I think like probably my favorite Star Trek movie, to be honest. Like Wrath of Khan is up there, and then as far as the new ones, yeah, the thing is like I like the thing with Wrath of Khan is like it's still so early that like the visuals in Undiscovered Country came so far from like when they did the motion picture and stuff. Like, it looks like a totally different era, right? The visuals in Undiscovered Country are amazing, and like I love the political angle of it. Like, there's something I really liked about, and I like that like with the Kittimer Accords, like they tied that into the larger Trek universe, because like you hear about the Kittimer Accords a lot when in Next Generation, right? Like you hear about that like history of that, but you don't ever see it. And then you learned about it in Undiscovered Country, like because they always talk about the Kittimer Accords in TNG, and then you like see them actually happen in Undiscovered Country. So and at the time, I think when Undiscovered Country came out, TNG was like already started. So for me, it was like a really cool tie-in. It felt like it really brought the two series together, I guess, if that makes sense. Even though Generations obviously actually brought the two series together, I felt like from a lore perspective, it was cool to see that like thing that they talked about in TNG. I liked First Contact. I think I liked whoa, this is really pink. Oh my god, look how pink this is. This must be that Klingon orc blood. Yeah, I'm not gonna, definitely can't use that. It's like way too pink. Damn it. All right, let's back to the drawing board here. Let's see what else we got here. All right, let's try this guy. Crimson's Crusted Sore. This also has a excellent name. This looks purple. Yeah, it's like purple pink is my point. Like if you kind of see it. So it's like it's now it's way too my point is it's way too pink. It's way too pink purple for the cloak, which I want more of a crimson. But I didn't, these army painter ones I've had for so long that like they've kind of separated from the medium. So it's really weird. Like when paints separate from mediums, like this paint here, like you look at it and it's like, what color is this? It's supposed to be a khaki, but like the medium is green. It's just really bizarre. You have to shake them for like 3 hours. Let me give this a little bit of vortexing. Gotta go in about 2 minutes. I know I say the vortex mixer is not that handy, but for cases like this, like really old paints that you haven't used in a long time, especially army painter ones or ones in dropper bottles, I find them handy. The GW ones, they're actually wide enough that like I feel like they shake quite well, if that makes sense, because there's like enough room for things to move around. Whereas the dropper bottles, especially when they're like really full or brand new, there's like so little air in them that like you shake them and like the paint doesn't really move. It doesn't really get that like it doesn't really get that like that mix. So for the purposes of older paints and dropper bottles, I do really like this vortex mixer. All right, let's see what we got here. There we go. That's a lot better. That's the new color. So I think we're gonna go with that. The cloak and the hood. Water here. It's not super thick either. It's not super opaque either, you know what I'm saying? It's quite thin, but let's see how it goes here. Oh my god, look at that coverage. I'm about to puke. Ew, disgusting. Look at that coverage. Ew, there's no way I'm using this paint. That's horrendous. Can't get it out of here. That's like pukey. Okay, I'm bringing out the big guns, guys. I didn't want to have to do it, but I don't have much choice. We're gonna have to go with we're gonna have to go in with the Chimera colors. So Chimera colors are, it's like a line of, I think there's like 10 of them. I don't really know who makes them. Scale 75 maybe makes them, or somebody else makes them. They're like supposed to be super high pigment. Some of them are super high pigment. I feel like some of them aren't super high pigment. Erteos, I don't know how to say her name. Is she a hard boss in WoW? Like she's hard to kill? These are Chimera colors. They're like super high pigment. So let's go with that. Watch the coverage difference between that paint I just used and this one here. You're gonna be shocked. Way too much. Look at that difference. It's actually savage. This is a very good covering red, if you're wondering. So look at how strong that pigment is, guys. Airtightos. Airtightos. Okay, I'm just gonna call you. It's kind of crazy how well that covers compared to the last paint. And I like these because they dry actually really matte. An 11-minute fight, is that long in raid in like WoW? Like what's the average like fight length for like Dude, I remember playing EverQuest 2 like during launch. We had what's her name? Is it Vox, I think? Am I remember correctly? The ice dragon. She's like a blue ice dragon. Spirit of Vox, yeah. So her name was Vox, and it was a contested mob in God, this is my EQ. This is how long it's been stuffed. She's a contested mob in Everfrost, I think, which was one of the zones with like giants and stuff. And this was during launch, so like a bunch of our guild, this was like a 24-man raid, and she was contested. That meant I know they have some world bosses in WoW, but everything's instance now. But original EverQuest 2, I'd say about like 3/4 of the raids were like outdoor bosses in like contested zones, just like regular EverQuest, right? So it's not instanced, right? For those of you that play EQ. But we went to go like fight her, but like half our guild was still like in their 40s, right? Because the level cap was 50. And so like our main tank group like pulled this mob, but then like people just would get insta killed by her because her AoE was like quite long. So like people had to, it was quite strong, and people weren't geared, right? And a lot of them weren't even level 50. So in order to like actually hurt her, people had to like they had to joust in and out of the AoE like halfway across the screen. And because like a lot of the people, like the DPS was all like level 45 and like a few level 50s, but like some of them were melee characters, right? Like they had very little range damage. All the DPS had to like joust in and out of this like this frost, this like cold AoE that she would like pulse every like 45 seconds. And because our DPS was so low, like we literally fought for like an hour and a half. It was like an hour and a half pull to kill her, because literally every AoE, I played a ranger, every AoE I would run in and I'd get like 2 arrows off, and then I have to like run back halfway across the screen, because like it was literally like a 45-second timer on the AoE, and then there was like it was like a 15-second like in and out just to get within range and then back out to like get shots off. And all of us were like, a lot of people were so under geared and too low level to survive the AoE. So like if you didn't joust it, you would literally just get insta killed. And I remember us sitting there for literally like, it was like an hour and a half, and like every few minutes, like 1%. It was just like, dude, it was so painful. And then the main tank group was just sitting there like, you know, they were all our level 50s in the main tank group, just not trying not to die, like, you know. And people would have to run in, and half the raid would wipe on one of the AoEs because they weren't like, they'd get, you know, a spellcaster would try to get an extra spell off, and then you just get wiped by the AoE. So like we had like people going in and combat resing. Half the raid like was like dead. Most of the raid was dead basically half the time. So at any one point it was like the main tank group and like 2 or 3 DPS, and then like a few clerics and shamans like running around trying to combat res people. But obviously there's like a really long cooldown on that, so like you only get one person up every like 2-3 minutes. It was just, man, it was like brutal. It was such a stupid long fight. I was like, oh, this, please never again make us do this. But those are the days, you know. Those were the days. And now here I am complaining that I don't get to do that anymore. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Just 20 minutes ago, I was like, fuck, why don't we get to do hour-and-a-half raids where for a single contested boss that basically dropped garbage. Oh, and the loot was garbage too, because back then all the loot tables were still like bugged and like beta shit, so loot tables were not very good. Those were the days, guys. And here I am wishing that back. Maybe I am crazy. All right. Staring at my book nonstop. Yeah, exactly. But like, man, I miss those memories. Like, I have so many memories like that, and I'm sure you guys do too. Like, those just like late night calls to like kill contestants with like 2 groups, or like, you know, I don't know, just like camping out, waiting for like respawns, like just hanging out. I don't know. There's a the nostalgia is strong, you know, no doubt. All right, guys. There's our kind of starting progress. Yeah, dude. Like, it was so fun too, because like everyone was new. No one knew what the fuck they were doing. Like, it was just such a shit show, but like you pulled it together, and like the feeling when you fucking took it down was like so good, even though the loot was brutal. Like the loot tables in like launch EverQuest 2 were like so bad. Pretty sure they had to like oh yeah, I used to I had to camp what's the name of the dragon in Kazakh Thul? Like the green dragon. Anyone remember? There's like a I can't remember. There's a green dragon in Kazakh Thul. And I remember having a spot where I'd camp my ranger, and it was like a random respawn between like 5 and 7 days. And I literally, like, my job was to sit there and stare at the spot where the fucking dragon was gonna spawn. And then when I went to bed, I would literally set my alarm every 15 minutes while I was sleeping to get back up to check, or I'd like be like half asleep, like on my basically like my bed near my computer, enough where I could like open an eye and see if the dragon would spawn. And then, you know, like, holy shit, it spawned at like 4 in the morning, get up, like, you know, fuck, I can't remember the name of the dragon, but like, so-and-so's up, like, everyone get online, like, messaging all the guildmates, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, fuck, man. That was fun. And just, like, that rush, right? The rush of, like, your server first, your world first, those kinds of things. Or just, like, killing the raid boss for the first time after wiping for, like, 3 days. There's something about that that was, like, feels so good, you know? All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to call it today. I gotta go. I got dinner plans, and then I gotta go to the gym really quick before I go. So that's gonna be our progress on Sylvanas today. I'll probably make a little bit more work on her. Thanks for joining me. Make sure to subscribe on Twitch. Follow on Twitch if you haven't. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna be streaming some Final Fantasy 3, I believe. Sorry, Final Fantasy 7 at 3 p.m. So come hang out. If you guys have played Final Fantasy 7, please come and help me, because I'm very bad at it. It's way too twitchy for me, and I'm way too old as a slow non-Twitch gamer. And yeah, I will talk to you guys